Hi, and welcome back to Blackwood's Academy Sales Tip of the Day. Look, we're going to be looking into the mere exposure effect. Now, what is the mere exposure effect? Well, it's quite something simple. It's about familiarity with your product. And we all know that the more clients are familiar with your product, the more they're going to trust it. So stick around today, and we're going to look into this psychological phenomenon called the mere effect exposure and how you can use familiarity to do more sales, get more deals done, get more deals signed, and how you can get this as one of your super weapons in your sales arsenal. So let's continue on after the intro. So welcome back. Now, look, let's define the principle first. So we know what we're talking about here. The mere exposure effect is a psychological phenomenon where people develop a preference for things simply because they're familiar with them. It's why you trust brands you see often, and even if you never use their products, you know their slogans, you know what they look like, and you kind of trust them just because you're familiar with them. So think about a jingle from an ad that sticks in your head. You heard it 100 times. Even if you don't like that product, you remember it. So, or your face, you see it regular at work over time. You naturally feel more comfortable around them. So in sales, the power of familiarity is immense. I mean, it's massive. So let's explore why it works and how to use it, and how to use it effectively. So the psychology behind the exposure effect or the mere exposure effect is that the brain processes familiarity by reducing the cognitive load. The brain feels safer with what it already knows because it doesn't have to work so hard to analyze it. Analyze it? Analyze it. Thank you. So, for example, when you see a logo repeatedly, your brain starts associating it with trustworthiness or anything else, something that is well built, well done, even without a logical reasoning. Think about Porsche, Ferrari, or something like that. So familiarity creates an emotional shortcut. If something feels familiar, we assume that it's safe and it's reliable. Think of people, how people gravitate, to familiar restaurant chains when traveling, even if there are, better local options. It's the danger with this though is that you can be overexposed. So too much familiarity can lead to annoyance or a sense of being sold to. So you got to strike a balance between the two. You know, it's actually reminding me of something from Wolf of Wall Street, where Jordan Belfort names his company Stratton Oakmont because it sounds familiar, it sounds waspy, it sounds like, it like he said, like it came on the Mayflower. So look, how do you do the mere exposure effect in sales? Make your logo tagline message consistent across all touch points. Repetition builds recognition. So think of Coca-Cola, the same red, same script font, same message of happiness. You instantly recognize it no matter where you are. And you need to do the follow-up strategy. It's not just about making that one pitch. Reaching out multiple times ensures your name stays top of mind. So create a follow-up schedule, LinkedIn messages, calls. Even if they don't respond immediately, they'll remember you. So the same thing goes through content marketing. Offer value through regular, consistent content, blog posts, YouTube videos, or social media posts that provide solutions to keep you in front of your prospect. So post a short tip every day on LinkedIn to build familiarity with your expertise. Another one is targeted ads, leveraging retargeting ads to appear in front of warm leads multiple times. The more they see your brand, the more credible it becomes. So Amazon does this really well, showing you products you already viewed once and show them again and again until you buy it. And what you can do is, do this in person, of course, as well. Attend networking events, webinars, or client meetings constantly, consistently. And you gotta keep yourself out there. And I'm a big believer in people want to do business with people. So seeing your face and hearing your voice builds trust. So end every meeting by scheduling the next one to stay in their orbit. Something that you can look at from the mere exposure effect where it's at work in real life examples is Apple product launches. Apple teases their products long before they're available. By the time they launch, you're already familiar with the idea of a new iPhone. And a sales rep who sends helpful resources and over several weeks builds more trust than one that called once and then disappears. They won't even remember that guy. So email sequencing is beautiful in this, and you can use this in most CRM systems. So well-structured email sequence that deliver consistent value primes a prospect to buy when the time is right. So think about like customer testimonial campaign. Hearing that the same positive feedback from various clients, creates a perception of widespread reliability. So look, to recap real quick, the mere exposure effect works because familiarity builds trust. By staying visible and consistent, you become the natural choice when prospects are ready to buy. So, are you using this principle in your strategy? Are you having consistency in your messaging and reaching out regularly just to stay top of mind? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more tips like this, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and I'll be dropping an ebook soon on sales psychology. It will be free, and actually we will have donation button in it so you can donate to charity, and I'll let you guys know when it's ready. So let's turn familiarity into your greatest advantage. And I'll see you guys again for the next one tomorrow.